everyone doing? Thanks for coming out today. I'm Greg Schwartz, Director of Public Relations at American Dream. Man next to me obviously does not need an introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway.
I'm Walt Frazier, greatest Nick of all time.
That was part of my introduction, actually. But as you guys know, we have a legend in the building today. The greatest Nick of all time, one of the 50 greatest NBA players of all time, two-time NBA champion, unbelievable broadcaster, great man, and now a children's author, which most of you hopefully bought his book today. So, thank you guys. The book is called Winning and Grinning. If you purchase it in the back, it's $20. At the end of the event, you can meet Clyde, come on stage, get his autograph, get your picture taken with the legend. So, Clyde, tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, the book, because of you guys, I've been able to do maybe 8 books, autobiography, different books. But this book, I would like to be my legacy, because now I'm at the twilight of my career. The kids have always been there for me. They made me the first guy to endorse a sneaker. Long before the Air Jordan, that was the Clyde. I've done the 8 books. I've been doing Walt Frazier basketball camps for 50 years. So I felt compelled to give back. So now to the kids, this is my way of giving back. I go into the schools. Thank you. I go into the schools talking about education, abstinence from drugs and alcohol, confidence. You can do it. You can be whatever you want to be if you apply yourself. Have a tenacious work ethic. Be willing to work as a team. So you guys know about the team I played on. We personified team. You can't mention Frazier without Bradley, without Reed, without the Busher, without Barnett. So teamwork is very essential. And last night our boys did not have teamwork. We had this Swiss cheese defense going. But we know New Yorkers, we always see the glass as half full. And I still have faith in the Knicks if they can remain healthy. I think we might get back to our former grandeur, win another championship.
So just so you guys know, at the end of the event, again, you can come up on stage if you purchase the book and meet Clyde. We're also going to open it up for questions at some point, so you guys can ask questions to Clyde as well. Now, the book is called Winning and Grinning, which is very fitting, because obviously he's got 2 championship rings there, 1970 and 1973 champion, including the most epic performance in NBA Finals history, Game 7, 36 points and 19 assists.
7 rebounds.
7 rebounds, and then he keeps
4 steals.
Tell us about that game, Clyde.
I sold hot dogs at halftime. That game was incredible because you remember Willis Reed was injured. So Game 6, I think Wilt Chamberlain had like 40 points and 20 rebounds. So we were coming back to New York and we didn't know if Willis would play or not. So when he came out on the court, we were just as shocked as everybody else. But when I saw Willis, it gave me so much confidence. And ironically, when I left the locker room, Red Holzman told me, Clyde, hit the open man. But as the game progressed, I was the open man. So obviously I had the game of my career and 36 points, 19 assists. The Knicks went on to win their first championship. So I can recall that like yesterday.
And now the title, Winning and Grinning. Clyde is obviously known for his rhymes and extensive vocabulary. Tell us the inspiration behind the rhyming.
My rhymes, I started on radio. So I used to work with a guy where when I started talking, he'd go, "Excuse me, Walt." He wouldn't give me a chance to say anything. So I knew certain times in the game, if the Knicks were doing something and they were playing well, he had to catch his breath. So I go, "They're dishing and swishing." They're pounding and astounded. That was all I could get in, so I had to come up with the rhymes to try to have a place on the broadcast. But then, of course, when I started working with Mike gave me freedom to articulate a little more, and that's why I think today we are the best announcing team around. Green, I invited Mike to come, but he didn't want to buy a book, so he didn't show up.
Mike's a very generous man. Long history with him. Just so you guys know, Clyde and I worked together at the Knicks for 16 years before I came to American Dream, and we traveled together for 12 seasons. Let me tell you, he looks like he could still play because the rest of us on the road, we would eat, drink. He would stay in his hotel room, work out, and walk around with bags of granola.
Yeah, eating peanuts, guys would be laughing at me. But it's something from being in sports throughout my life, always trying to stay physically fit. And obviously my fashion passion. It cost me a lot of money to gain weight. I'd have to mess with those suits. So. And that's one of the things about it with the book, guys. I'm not only teaching education, fashion. We're going to come out with a coloring book to show the kids about colors, how I coordinate my different colors. So I'm always asked, where do I get my suits? So I shop between 7th and 8th Avenue from 34th Street up to 40th. I just go in and out of fabric stores in the summer looking for fabrics. Sometimes I go months, I don't find anything. Or if I go in there, I always tell the guy, show me something that you think nobody will wear. That's probably what I'm looking for. But I've always had a passion for fashion, and obviously being in the Mecca, where you see all the different people, the way they dress. And when we played, we always wore suits to the game, because our idols were Motown, Marvin Gaye, Temptation, the Four Top. Today the players dress like the rappers. No, those are their idols, so they dress a little casual. But hopefully this book, I go into the schools periodically with the Knicks talking about the education aspect, how to improve yourself. You can do it, you can be whatever you want to be.
And obviously you're wearing your legendary cow suit. Is that your favorite one?
The cow suit was voted the favorite by the fans, so I wore it today.
I was telling Clyde earlier, one of my favorite memories of the Knicks, so we would get off the team plane and everybody would change into sweats. That was the standard, except Clyde. Clyde always wanted to look dapper, so he'd be flying in his suit. And I think we were in either Oklahoma City or Sacramento, and we won the game, so everybody's in a good mood on the team bus. And Clyde comes down in his cow suit, and on our bus you hear Mike Woodson, who was then the head coach, go, "Somebody call the farmers, the cattle were astray." And we were all having a good laugh at Clyde's expense. So.
But no animals were harmed. Just synthetic fabric.
So now, Clyde, you also talked about your legacy. Did you envision growing up in Atlanta that this would be your legacy?
Well, in the book, you'll find that I'm the oldest of 9 kids. I have 7 sisters and 1 brother. So I never envisioned what has happened to me. My first pro game that I saw was the one that I played in. So my claim to fame was 1967. I was the MVP in the NIT. I played for Southern Illinois, and at that point I realized maybe I might have a chance to be a pro, because I was playing against guys that I read about, and I was the best guy. So I was really surprised when the Knicks drafted me, but it was always my favorite team. I always liked Dick Barnett and Willis Reed and those guys, so it was like a dream come true being drafted by the Knicks.
And another interesting thing I saw in the book was that you were a 3-sport star in high school. I didn't know that about you. Tell us a little bit about your other sports you played.
Yeah, in high school I was also a football player. I was a quarterback in football. I was a catcher in baseball, and also the basketball aspect. So growing up, sports was my whole life. That's all I ever wanted to do. If you came to my house and asked my mom, "Where's Walt?" She said, "Go down on the playground." I was always down there trying to play. If it rained, we played checkers and ping pong. So I was always doing something related to sports.
So talking about today's game, how many points per game do you think you would average with a 3-point line?
Today's game, we would average 3 or 4 more points, because when we played, we could hand check. So that's a lot more difficult. Today you can't touch the guy. So I'm sure I could probably average 3 or more points per game. Wilt Chamberlain would probably average 50 points a game if we were around. But I like the game today. The players are bigger, stronger, faster. So you see Shea Alexander, he's 6'6", you know, doing what I did at 6'4". You see Durant, he's 6'11". Tomorrow we'll see the Greek Freak, he's 7 feet. How this guy shakes and bakes, wheels and deals. So I'm amazed at the size of these players and the way their agility and mobility. Our guy Cat, what Cat has brought to the Knicks, his ability to create off the bounce, the three-point shot. You know, so it's amazing what the guys can do today.
Is there a player in today's game who reminds you of yourself?
There's no one like that because the game has changed. Today, everybody's a specialist. They just want you to play defense. Like the point guard doesn't necessarily shoot. The shooting guard doesn't dribble. You know, you got a power forward that has to just rebound. When I played, you were a guard. You had to rebound, you had to defend, you had to do everything. So the versatility aspect of the game has been taken away as far as the players and what they want them to do.
All right, I think we'll open it up to questions from you guys in the audience. So if you have a question, please raise your hand and I'll bring the microphone over. We have a little girl in the second row. What's your name? Mia. Do you have a question? You can have his autograph later.
What's up, Mia?
Thank you. Walt, it's a pleasure to see you here. Thank you for coming. And just want to let you know that my kids are such big fans of yours, even though they never saw you play. They love listening to you when we watch the Knick games together. And we love the Clyde So Fly. Do you like the Clyde So Fly to see every day? They grade you and all that?
He puts pressure on me every game.
There you go. But you've been getting a lot of A's and A pluses lately, so it's been good. My one question is, Mitch Robinson. We're all kind of waiting for Mitch. Is that going to add depth? Is that false hope? Are we waiting too much on him and not? When I say we're waiting on him, these last couple of games, it seems like we've been less than stellar, and we've been a little thin on the bench. So, what do you think of Mitch coming back, and how is that going to change the depth of the team?
Well, he's a rim protector. We get Mitch back, I think our defense could improve. Right now, when a guy, like last night, you saw Shea Alexander, every time he eluded his man, he went right to the hoop. There was nobody there to protect the basket. So Mitch, that's one of his fortes, blocking shots and rebounding. So he'll definitely improve the Knick defense overall.
As a reminder, if you purchase the book, Winning and Grinning in the back, $20 for the book, you can meet Clyde at the end of the event, get his autograph and take a picture with him. We're back now with the next question.
Let's go Knicks.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a question, but that works.
How you doing, Mr. Clyde?
How are you? Okay.
One question. Did they ever offer you a front coach? Did they ever offer you to be a coach?
A coaching job? No, I never thought about being a coach. You know, I still like coaching the kids and everything, but I never thought of doing it professionally. I did think about it when they hired Phil Jackson. I was like, what if he asked me to coach? You know, so I kind of thought about it, but he never approached me about coaching to help to coach the team.
We won 17 games that season. We could have used you as a coach.
First of all, Mr. Clyde, thank you for being here today. It's a real honor and pleasure to see you. So, and to take the time to see us all today. So, thank you for that. My question is that first, NBA championship when, you realize that, Willis Reed's out and it's all on you now. How did it feel to take over the game? What emotions were going through your mind during that game? And do you still own the Rolls Royce?
Well, the Willis game, in those days we didn't have cell phones. So we knew nothing about what he was going to do till we got to the game. He was in the training room. So Holtzman ran us out of the training room because he said, well, whether Willis play or not, you guys have to get ready mentally. So like I said, when we came on the court, we had no idea if Willis would play or not. But as I alluded to, when I left the locker room, Holtzman said, hey, Clyde, hit the open man, make sure everybody gets involved. So that was my mindset when I came on the court. But as I said, as the game, I come over the screen, I was open. Then I started to make steals. I just had a phenomenal shooting touch that game, but it was nothing that I pre-planned. I just let it happen. It happened instinctively, and it's something I'll never forget.
Another one.
The Rolls Royce, I sold my Rolls Royce maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I bought the Rolls Royce in 1970. It was the 1967 Silver Cloud 3. And that rose was synonymous with New York City. Everywhere you go, you see Clyde in the rose. I had a chauffeur, so it brought a lot of memories. Had a lot of fun with the Rolls Royce.
All right, our next question.
Who do you think the Knicks should trade for to improve their depth?
I'm not sure. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. But obviously they're thinking of a trade right now. They know they need better depth. And so far, so good. They brought in OG, right? They brought in traded OG. They brought in Bridges. So I'm sure they'll come up with another big trade and propel the Knicks again, hopefully.
All right, next question.
Hi, Walt. Thank you for coming to see us. My question is, on this current Knicks team, who would you say is your favorite player?
I think Jara Hart. Hart he's tenacious, always 110% work ethic. He doesn't care about scoring, just whatever he can do to help the team win. So I really admire his effort on the court.
And just a reminder, if you want to meet Clyde after the event, you can purchase his book, Winning and Grinning, for $20. We'll have a meet and greet after the event.
Hey Clyde, too late, my question is, I'm from Australia, we came a few weeks ago, and around the streets you see...
I would have never known.
We see the jerseys of Frazier, number 10 on the back. Obviously I was too young to watch you play, but I watch the Knicks games every day, or when they're on, and hearing you and Mike on the call, or Alan, it's firstly an honor. But my question is, on the inside cover of your book, it says you're a New York City icon. Would you consider yourself, hearing this, a global icon?
A global icon from Puma. Being involved with Puma, that kind of catapulted me kind of globally, because they were a German company. And when I went over to visit them, I was amazed how people recall that I was the guy who started that shoe over 40-something years ago, and I'm still with Puma. Recently gave me a lifetime contract to represent the shoe. Barry was one of our clients when he was with the Knicks. So in that respect, I've been to Japan with the shoe, so that's kind of a global aspect in being involved with Puma in the sneaker. And of course, playing in New York, throughout the world, people like in Australia, sometimes the Knicks are their home team. When the Knicks are winning in a lot of these countries, so it's kind of a global aspect as well.
Hi, I'm honored to be here with you. Question, is there any chance that you might open another wine and dine by any chance? Because, next to MSG, that was the best place for us. So
Thank you, man. I missed the wine and dine. Seeing you guys come in. I'll never forget, when you guys came in, I was always at the door greeting, and some people thought I was a mannequin. They go, wow, Clyde really comes here. Yeah. So no, I miss it. The food was good, the place was good, and we definitely appreciated your support. And I don't rule it out. We might open another Clyde, hopefully one day again. Thanks.
Hi, Clyde. First of all, thanks for coming. One question is, how do you think social media in this day compared with when you used to play has affected players? In your experience, have you seen players change their game or anything like that based on what fans have been saying on social media?
Yeah, the players read everything on social media. I can't believe sometimes when they're criticized, they even react to people. And I'm like, man, we never did that. Luckily, we didn't have social media because I wouldn't be Clyde. Hostman would know I was out at 4 or 5 in the morning. I'd be in trouble. But I'm glad I didn't have it because you're under scrutiny 24 hours. People know what you're doing, where you're going, know everything about you. So, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse for the players today.
Hi, Clyde. So when this gentleman here stole my question about your restaurants, I was curious. I've been following you since I was 10 years old. I'm 63 now. And when I was 10, you won the championship. So you've been my hero for the last 53 years.
Wow, thank you.
And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I never thought I'd get this opportunity to say that, but congratulations and all. And I don't have any other questions because I've been following you for 53 years, so I know everything else. So all the best, and congratulations on the book.
Thank you. That's very humbling. You know, some of my most profound memories at MSG. When, you know, I've been doing Knicks games for over 30 years, and I'm oblivious to my number hanging in the rafters. But like after a game like last night, when I walk out of the employee's entrance, I have a flashback to my career. When I wasn't playing that good, the team wasn't that good, but there would always be like 2 or 3 kids waiting for me after the game. And they go, Clyde, you're still the greatest. Clyde, you're getting it next time. Clyde, let me carry your bags. So they were always there for me, and I appreciate you. And it's kept me very humble because you know, if there's one autograph you get if you come to Madison Square Garden, it's going to be Clyde.
We'll take a couple more questions. Does anyone else have a question? You can come to the back for the reception. And as a reminder, Clyde's book, Winning and Grinning, is for sale in the back. Children's book, $20. You get to meet Clyde after this Q&A.
Hi Clyde, I'm a huge Knicks fan. I grew up in Brooklyn. I love listening to you on the radio. Do you have any, what's your fondest memories with like broadcasting with people like Marv Albert or John Andres? I love listening to you. I gained a vocabulary. I married a lawyer, so like you always thought I could learn a vocabulary from you in school.
My most profound memories with Mike and I were doing radio and covering the Bulls and Knicks. We could not believe we were getting paid to do this, sitting courtside, watching Michael Jordan and Ewing and all these guys, man. So we used to count our blessings when Mike and I first started watching those games and covering that series.
Hi, Clyde. It says in your book, and you mentioned before, that you're the oldest of 9. Do you think that influenced how you were a leader on the court and also your connection with the youth throughout your career?
Oh, great question, yeah. I was a role model before I knew what the word meant. Because when my parents weren't around, I was in charge. So also, in sports, I told you I played football, I was the captain, basketball, baseball. I was always the captain of the team. That's how I developed my demeanor, my cool demeanor. Because when the game was going awry, the coach would always pull me over. Walt, you got to keep them under control. So on the outside, I'm cool, but on the inside, I'm percolating like everybody else, but I couldn't let them know that. And actually, when I was in the 8th grade, I was a hothead. I used to always lose my composure. So one game, I threw the ball away and I was pouting, and my coach called me over, Frazier, don't lose your head, son, your brains are in it. And I never forgot that. So I played 12 years in the NBA. I never had a technical foul called against me.
Hi, Clyde. It's great for you to be here. I grew up in the 70s in Brooklyn, and I was sent off to summer camp. I remember going to the Maurice Stokes game and seeing him play. And he came to our camp and showed us how to do layups. and free throws. It's a big part of my life. So I wanted to thank you. What did you think about playing in the Maurice Stokes game at the time?
Well, a lot of the people don't know Maurice Stokes. He was a outstanding basketball player that had an illness that sidelined him. So we had an annual game that we would raise money for him. The Maurice Stokes game was up at Cutcher Sports Academy. So all the players, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, everybody, Bill Russell, everybody used to go up and play that game in support of Maurice Stokes. So he was a fantastic player in person. And yeah, I have a lot of profound memories. I used to work at Cutcher's like 30 days out of the year. That was one of the best camps in the country, the Cutcher Sports Academy.
All right, we'll take 2 more questions and then we'll start the meet and greet. Does anyone else have a question?
Who was your favorite player to play against, or the hardest person you had to guard?
The hardest person I had to guard was Oscar Robertson. Was one of them. He had no weaknesses. Jerry West, Earl the Pearl. And I always say Earl the Pearl because Oscar Robertson was like 6'5". He was going to back you down. Jerry West was going to stop and pop because of his quickness. But Earl didn't know what he was going to do, so how did I know what he was going to do? So he was this guy of improvisation, but I loved the challenge of trying to deny him. And when he was traded to the Knicks, you know, I don't know, looking back on it, I don't know if I like it more playing with him or against him, but I know playing against him really helped catapult me into the Hall of Fame. Trying to stop this guy holding to 30 points a game. So I really relish those challenges. And today, folks, those are things you can't replace. You know, there's still that void after you retire. That's why a lot of guys never have a smooth transition to retiring. Because they miss the money, they miss the lifestyle, they miss the challenge of every other night going out trying to be a hero. So it's very intimidating trying to come over that, and it took me 3 or 4 years to come down to retirement. Yeah, so it's not an easy thing to do for these players today. But in closing, I just like to say, I see a lot of parents out there. I always give my parents credit for my success, my parental guidance, and of course, I was raised by that village. I had parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, teachers, coaches, always encouraging me to do the right thing, education, never see color, never look down on a man. My father and grandfather grew up under the pressure of segregation, but they always taught me never look down on a man unless you're helping him to get up. So I always had all of these positive role models in my life. And then when I came to the Knicks, Willis Reed was my idol. The captain, if you see my handwriting, I copied his handwriting. He has a great handwriting. He always gave 110%. He was always cordial to the fans. So Willis Reed had a tremendous impact on me on and off the court. And when we lost him, it was very devastating for me when he passed away. So being up here today, I'm standing on the shoulders of a lot of people. So that's why I feel compelled to give back through my book. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to be peddling this book and talking to kids about education. You can do it, you can be where you want to be. Fashion, sports, you don't have to be a professional. Sports built my character. I learned more from losing than I ever learned from winning being in sports. So sports is a great way to instill confidence, develop that teamwork that we were talking about. So parents, the main thing is don't take away your kids' motivation by giving them everything. It's human nature that if you give somebody everything, why would they work? If we look at the NBA today, there are 120 foreign players from 40 different countries. When I played in the NBA, everybody was from the USA. So now we've lost over 120 jobs to foreign players. And every year there are more and more. So these guys are hungry. So when I talk to kids and I tell them, if you want to run, there's a guy in Africa that's running. There's a guy in Canada that's running. You know, there's a guy in France that's running. So all these guys are hungry. They want to take our jobs. So you got to have that motivation, tenacious work ethic. And we talked about being global. Today, basketball is like tennis. It's a global game. When you look at all the foreign players and where they're from. So I think parents, you hold the key. You can instill that confidence in your kids and encourage them to do the right thing, get out and work, and, you know, get off the computer, get out, get some fresh air, make friends, and, you know, hopefully they can be a very successful person in life and make you happy.
Very profound words, Clyde. Thank you for sharing that with me. As a reminder, you can read more about Clyde and Winning and Grinning. We're now going to start the meet and greet. If you guys want to start lining up around the stanchion, if you have a copy of the book, you can meet Clyde, get it signed, and take a picture with him as well. Thank you for coming.